What is up, guys? Caden back here with Husky Diesel. Today we are doing a little bit of a boring intro, but kind of going into some specifics of a new build we are trying to do. Basically, we'll just dive right into it. We are doing a Can-Am Maverick X3 base with a Mercedes, the OM 606, which is the inline-six Mercedes diesel engine with a sequential four-wheel drive transmission, so that we can retain the all-wheel drive. And we are planning on racing that in the BAJA 1000, and it's 23 weeks from now. It's about how long we have to prepare, and we're still gonna be running the shop just like normal. So we're only gonna be able to work on it evenings and weekends, and kind of, you know, it's a bit of a time crunch, but I think me and the guys can do it if all of us pitch in a little bit. The main focus of today's video is kind of go over kind of what we're looking for, what we're trying to do. Later on in the video, I'll kind of show you exactly what we're trying to do, and show you kind of a visual on one of my Can-Ams. But basically, we are hoping to make about 500 wheel horsepower and 800 pound-feet of torque, which is quite a bit in a little, basically, side-by-side. Why we're doing this is just, it's something new. We haven't seen anyone really put a big diesel engine into a side-by-side. A lot of people just upgrade the gas engines that they have, or even just, you know, LS swap it like everyone else. Cummins are way too big and heavy, and honestly this engine makes about the same power as just a regular, a tuned up Cummins. This is basically going to be custom everything. We'll show you a look at the shop where we're going to be building it and kind of go from there. But let's get into kind of more of the specifics. Okay, so basically what we're trying to do is have an all-wheel drive, diesel-powered side-by-side. Obviously we gotta have a mid-engine with a front drive shaft, which is gonna be a little hard to work out kind of how we're doing that, but we're working with a transmission company already to try and get that sorted out. But basically this is gonna be like a pimped out Can-Am. We're gonna have a sound system, Corbeau seats, lighting. We're gonna have like 2 sets of shocks just because this thing's gonna be heavy. We're gonna have all the cooling system and all that stuff on the rear of the engine. That way we're not heating up the front like a normal Can-Am does. We have a power plant that's gonna make about, it makes 500 horsepower and 800 pound-feet of torque. So you just gotta minimize our drivetrain losses, which shouldn't be too bad. But let's go out and show you the shop a little bit, and then we'll kind of go outside, take a look at the Can-Am. So obviously we still have the full diesel shop, which we're still gonna be working on all the trucks in. But we are working on getting these projects out of here. That way we can have this whole area to build the, we're gonna have some custom fabrication tables, get all the tools cleaned up. And we're gonna have like pipe benders, we already have welders and all that kind of stuff. And basically we're just gonna build everything in this little area. That way it's a little more secluded from like the main shop. It's dedicated for our off-road team and our off-road project. But this is gonna be kind of an interesting project. So, let's see where it goes. Now, we've been talking about the design a lot, and I haven't really showed you, but this is kind of the only thing we can find. So you can see the seats would go here. This is a 2-seater and a Volkswagen engine, but we'd extend this back part a little bit to kind of get this this axle lined up with the OEM axle and then have the engine. It's pretty long. It'll probably come up a little further, but this is kind of a good visual of kind of what we're shooting for. So that'll get us in the right position for the rear CV axles. We still got to figure out where we're going to run the front drive shaft and all that kind of stuff. But obviously we're going to cross that bridge when we get there. It shouldn't be horrible, but it will require a little creativity. But that'll give you a little bit more of a visual of basically what we're trying to accomplish, as opposed to me just talking about it. So let's go outside and look at the actual Can-Am. That way you can kind of compare the two. So here we have a Can-Am. We're gonna be going over a little bit of what I'm planning. We're not gonna be using this specific Can-Am, this is my baby. But we're gonna get one exactly like it, 4-seater and everything. And basically what's gonna have to happen, so the engine and transmission combo, it's about 42 inches long, so quite a bit. So right at the rear axle, we're at 32 inches. So we'll line 32 inches up with the axle right now. So you can kind of see we're gonna have to extend the frame just a little bit, not a whole lot. But if we go out to our 42, so you see, keep our 32 lined up. 42 is hanging out quite a bit.
So we're gonna have to end up mounting these radius rods either like to the transmission or make something work, just because I mean that's kind of what holds the whole suspension assembly together. That's what does all that. So we're gonna have to keep that, but it looks like we're only gonna have to extend the back half about maybe 10 inches, 20 inches, somewhere in there. So not super bad, just to make it fit while we have enough room to build a nice heat shield and everything for the Mercedes engine, because it's going to be hot. We're going to be pushing a lot of power out of it. It is going to be very warm. So we're going to be about as long as a Maverick R. So this is an X3. These are about 14 feet long. The Maverick Rs are about 16 feet long, so that'll give us just a little bit of wiggle room, enough to get by. But basically we're going to have a transaxle. So the output shaft for the transaxles, we're lining up with these axles right here, but it's going to stick out a little bit, and then we'll have a diversion. We can pick which side we want to put it on. We're going to have a diversion that comes out to go all the way up to the front diff, which is quite a ways. I mean, we have to go all the way up to here. And then with the transmission, we're going to get a billet differential for the front here, mostly because we're going to be putting about 800 pound-feet of torque through this thing, so we got to make sure it can hold up. We're gonna have to build some custom drive shafts for everything, but basically we want to use the X3 platform just because, I mean, parts are pretty common, upgraded pieces are really common. It's not going to be super hard. Plenty of people extend them all the time. So with that, it'll be kind of an easier platform, but this way you kind of get a little bit of a visual of what we're doing and what we're trying to have. I mean, we're going to get rid of like all the boxes and all this stuff up here and add in the radiator and all that, just because on the OEM Can-Am, all the coolant runs through it and comes up here to the front radiator and everything. But we don't really want to do that. We want to keep all the heat kind of back here. So we're going to mount transmission cooler, radiator, and then maybe intercooler like down here or something, just that way it gets a little more fresh air. Or maybe we'll do a transmission cooler down there or something. But that way we can keep all the heat back here away from our passenger and our racer and all that. We're gonna have to build a little bit more of an extreme cage, but we're gonna keep some nice harnesses. We haven't decided on seats yet, but we'll have, I mean, obviously some nice race seats. My goal is to try and make the Can-Am dash work. If not, we'll go with a Holley unit, because we're gonna use a Holley unit for our engine management, so that'll keep it pretty nice and simple. There's plenty of aftermarket support with all that, but with this being a super custom project, it's going to be a little bit harder to use all the factory stuff. I mean, we're putting a diesel in a Can-Am, right? I mean, this is crazy. No one's ever done it, and they probably haven't done it for a reason, but we're crazy enough, so we're gonna get to it. Let's get back in the office and talk a little more specifics about everything. As we are back in the office, it is the fun part. We're gonna be talking about like sponsorships and people sending us parts. We're definitely gonna be selling a ton of advertising on the Can-Am, and you know, if anyone wants to send us parts, we're definitely going to be reaching out to a bunch of different companies to try and help us with this project, just because it is gonna be quite the project, quite expensive, and I mean, some people might want to put their branding on the actual machine itself. But now that you guys got a solid idea of kind of what we're doing, my job tonight is to get us a Can-Am, either blown up, a good one running for a decent price. We just got to find one, and I mean, we might even be able to use this other one that I have. I just haven't decided yet, see if it's worth it or not to just buy another one or use this one. So we have this nice black one, of course, but I have this white one that already has upgraded control arms, upgraded axles. We're definitely gonna have to still do some customization, but pretty much everything's already upgraded on it. But this one is a joint venture between me and my brother-in-law, so we gotta convince him. I gotta pay it off, but we'll see if it works out to just do this one or if we have to buy one. We'll kind of see and go from there. But if you want to send us any parts, anything, if you want to reach out, the email will be huskydieselperformance@gmail.com, and we will work with you guys. I mean, obviously most of the parts we're gonna have to pay full price. That is what it is. But if you're wanting to send us parts, if you want to sponsor it, if you want to buy advertising, we're more than open to do that. We'll be racing the Baja 1000 in 23 weeks.
It is September 19th, I believe. Don't quote me on that. It might be the 16th. I don't remember right off the top of my head. But we're definitely going to be racing in that. We're going to try and do a couple actual races beforehand, not just testing. But we'll see what happens. We're 100% going to make the race, but it's up in the air if we're going to be able to do races beforehand or if we're just going to have to do testing for a little bit. But yeah, reach out if you guys want to sponsor anything. Drop a follow, subscribe if you want to follow the build. Obviously, we're still in the very, very early stages, but we are going to be working on it day and night. So let me go find a Can-Am and then we'll stay tuned. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you guys next time.